Hello everyone, this video is to share 15 plants that are doing great in my Zone 5A garden in mid-July. Maybe you'll find them useful for your garden. Looking magnificent here at the front of this small corner bed are these Alexander's Great Brunner. And these were bought early this spring at a very sale price at a nursery. And wow, I was hoping that in a year or two they would grow large enough to touch each other. Well, I only had to wait a month or two for that to happen. Each one of these right now is close to 2 feet wide. And just look at these glorious leaves. Absolutely stunning. Looking magnificent in the morning sun is my climbing hydrangea. It's at the end of this long flower border. And just let me see if I can get a little closer on some of the blooms. They're very much like lace cap blooms, and they're a little past their absolute best right now, but still looking magnificent. This is a dahlia that I started from seed last year. You can see it's pretty tall. It's 3 feet tall, and it doesn't have a name, but it came from a package that was called Watercolor Mix. And I loved this one so much last year, and it was so floriferous that I saved the tuber and I planted it again this year. And just look, and I'm hoping the tuber will be big enough this year to divide, because the number of buds, as you can see, the health of this particular one, and the size of it. And I just love these open daisy-like flowers. The pollinators love it as well. And maybe I should come up with a name for this one. I'll have to think on that. This white Delphinium, Sir Galahad, was planted here about, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Although it's been crowded out, I need to make more room for it in the fall, because just look at this one single bloom. It is glorious. Growing up the front of our gazebo is a climbing rose, one of the explorer roses, called John Cabot. And it is looking lovely. As you see, goes all the way up to the top. It's at least, the longest canes are at least 12 or more feet long. But I've been battling rose sawfly with this particular rose, actually all the roses in my garden. And I'm trying to do that without using pesticides, but it's still valiantly trying to look good. And let me just try to go in a little close so you can see the roses are looking pretty nice, but the leaves are definitely showing stress. I love this one, John Cabot. Just look at this patch of feverfew. I planted a lot of white wonder here by seed in my garden over the years, and sometimes when it reseeds, it is a single feverfew, as you see here, but just look. And if I step over this way a little bit, I can show you how the feverfew is repeated down this border. I highly, highly recommend it. This year I gave away a lot of my Dalmatian peach foxglove seedlings, but I did keep enough to have small show here in this side bed. Here's one, and here's another with a smaller one in the front, and here are 2 more, and you can see they're at different levels because when I gave a lot of my seedlings away, I started more, but those didn't grow as quickly, of course. So I highly recommend starting these from seed in January. In the front of this garden is one of 3 patches of this hardy geranium Biocovo that I have. And as you can see, it is enjoyed greatly by bees, the large bumblebees and also smaller bees. Both types are here this morning. And this is looking magnificent in mid-July. And here's another patch of the Biocovo. This one is in a sunnier spot right now. On the left here in a pot is my favorite nasturtium. This one is Alaska Apricot, and I start these from seed every year, and I just love them. And let me just go a little closer so you can see the intricacies of the blooms. Look at that. And also the foliage, the leaves are just stunning. Alaska Apricot. And here's another one that's sharing a pot with a lobelia and a seed dahlia, a dahlia that I started from seed earlier this year. And here's another one in a pot at the front of this little grouping of pots. A plant that never fails year after year is this annual Nicotiana. It is, this one is called Crimson Bedder. It has really large flowers for a Nicotiana. They are over 2 inches in diameter. And just look at that color. And this is one plant. All of these stems that you see here, this is one plant that I started from seed back in February. And here's another, and another, and another. And again, this is one plant here. And it will keep blooming until a very hard frost. Looking pretty glorious this morning is this peony. It is very tall. It's about 4 feet tall, and it has gigantic blooms. Let me see if I can put my hand out so that you can, oops, here we go. Just note the size of those blooms compared to my hand. They are absolutely stunning and very open, so pollinators really enjoy it. Here we have 2 annual schizanthus growing in a pot, and these both came from a pack of seeds. They're called Angel Wings Mix, and the common name of this plant is Poor Man's Orchid, and you can certainly see why if you focus on one of the flowers, because they definitely have markings and shapes similar to orchids. This is another couple of plants of the schizanthus. These are planted in the ground in this little corner bed, and they're both also doing really well. And these guys have been in bloom for ages, but they are looking fantastic right now. Here is a little grouping of the Sir Thomas Lipton roses, and I particularly love them as in the center one there before they are open, when you can still see a hint, just a hint of blush in them. But if I back up, you can see how fabulous this particular rose shrub, or shrub rose, I guess I should say, is doing. Here is a grouping of snapdragons, the red that you see. This one is called Chantelli Velvet, and I love this. This annual was planted either in January or February, I can't remember. They get pretty tall, and I love these. I love the warm richness of the color, and they make fantastic cut flowers. This Chantilly Light Salmon Snapdragon almost looks tropical. The colors in this I just adore. Aren't they amazing? Grew this from seed, and this is the first year I've grown these, but it won't be the last. And here are more of them. What could possibly be more beautiful or more cheerful than this patch of yellow loosestrife that's here at the front of this large bed that surrounds a few very large trees. I know that a lot of people consider these weeds, but this is a very difficult place to grow things. This patch is underplanted with big root geranium, which keeps it from coming out any further. It stops right there, and I would not be without it. When this is in bloom, it's a joy to behold. And here's another large patch of the same yellow loosestrife in a similar situation at the base of this gigantic tree. And I edge this bed with containers and keep it very much controlled. And I like to have the containers mostly full of pink and peachy plants to contrast well with the yellow loosestrife. And this one's not quite as far along because it is in a little more shade. But a point of interest is that it is never seeded in my garden. I have never found a seedling in over 25 years of this plant anywhere in my garden. It grows from underground rhizomes, and if you're willing to dig it out in the fall or the spring, any that you don't want, to keep it under control, I wouldn't hesitate putting it in my garden. I just love this one.